She let go too easily. No fight, no hesitation, no second thoughts. One day she was in it, and the next, she was gone. She walked away like it meant nothing. Like all the time, effort and loyalty you gave were disposable, and you were left holding the silence, replaying everything, wondering how she let go so fast, so cold, so clean. But here's what you need to understand. She let go easily because she thought you wouldn't. She thought you'd chase, thought you'd double text, thought you'd beg for clarity, offer softness, or keep the door open just in case she changed her mind. She wasn't afraid of losing you. She was betting on your need for closure to keep her relevant. But now, she's getting something else entirely. Nothing. No contact, no explanation, no emotional safety net. You're not chasing, you're disappearing. Because real closure doesn't come from her texts, her apologies, or her regret. Real closure comes when you go so silent, it makes her realize what she gave up. It's when you go from "I miss him" to "I'll never get access to that version of him again." You don't get closure by reopening the door. You get it by locking it behind you and throwing away the key. If you're done explaining your worth and ready to let your absence do the talking, hit that like button. Subscribe to Stoic Blessing, turn on notifications, and comment below. No contact is my closure. Now, let's begin. Number 1. She let go because she thought you never would. She didn't walk away with tears in her eyes. She didn't hesitate. She didn't look back. She let go with ease, like it was already decided. And in that moment, it crushed you. Because while you were holding on with both hands, she dropped it like it meant nothing. But that wasn't strength on her part. It was assumption. She assumed you'd hold the weight, that you'd carry the pain, that you'd leave the door cracked open, just in case. She didn't believe she was walking away forever. She believed she was walking away from a man who wouldn't walk away from her. And that belief is what made her so confident in letting go. She thought you'd reach out, that your pride would break before your silence did, that you'd need answers more than you needed your self-respect. Because for a long time, you did. You showed up. You gave chances. You waited, explained, forgave. So when she backed off, she expected that same version of you to stay on standby. But she miscalculated, because this time you didn't break. You didn't call. You didn't explain. You disappeared without a goodbye, without a fight, without any emotional leftovers for her to feed on. And that silence, that stillness, that's what shook her. Not a scream, not a confrontation, just a man who decided quietly that he was done being an option. And now the ease she walked away with is turning into a weight she can't ignore. Because the one thing she never prepared for was your complete detachment. She let go because she thought you never would. Now she knows. She gambled with something she can't get back. Number 2, your silence is her new reality check. She didn't expect you to go quiet. Not really. She expected a pause, maybe a few days of space. But in the back of her mind, she thought you'd come around. She thought the silence was temporary. A move, a tactic, something designed to get her attention, not to end the story. But your silence wasn't a play. It was a closure. And now that it's lasted longer than she thought it would, she's starting to feel it. The shift, the echo, the fact that you haven't reached out, haven't responded, haven't left breadcrumbs for her to pick up. That energy she once felt from you, loyal, invested, always available, is gone. And that's when the second guessing starts. Not because she suddenly realized how much she loved you, but because now she's forced to face what life feels like without your presence in it. Your energy, your consistency, your attention. It was a comfort she didn't know she was relying on until it disappeared. She used to feel secure in knowing you cared. Now she's starting to wonder if you ever really needed her at all. That's the power of silence. It turns the tables. It makes her question everything she thought she understood about you, about herself, about what she walked away from. Because silence doesn't just speak, it haunts. And in that haunting, she begins to realize you didn't leave to punish her. You left to protect yourself. And that kind of silence, it's louder than any closure she thought she wanted. Number 3. No contact isn't a tactic, it's a transformation. Most people think no contact is just a strategy, a way to get someone's attention, a mind game, a manipulation. But for a man who's really done, no contact isn't about getting her back. It's about getting yourself back. You're not sitting in silence hoping she texts. You're not watching her stories hoping she notices your absence. You're not timing your withdrawal to create curiosity. You're done reacting entirely. Because the version of you that used to live for her approval, he's gone. No contact isn't revenge, it's release. It's the moment you stop feeding a dead connection and start feeding your own growth. The moment you stop trying to be understood and start becoming undeniable. It's not a countdown to her return, it's a reset of your identity. Your focus isn't her anymore, it's your mindset, your discipline, your future. And as you level up in silence, something happens. The same woman who thought you'd never move on starts to feel it. Not because you said anything, but because you didn't. Because you vanished from her orbit. You broke the emotional contract that said you'd always be accessible, and now she's watching you rebuild where she once watched you break. No contact doesn't just remove her from your life. It removes the version of you that tolerated confusion, disrespect, and emotional crumbs. And when that version dies, the new one doesn't reach back. He doesn't need to. Because silence already said everything. Number 4. Detachment is what she never saw coming. She prepared for distance. She prepared for you to be upset. She even prepared for you to get angry and try to prove your worth. What she never prepared for was your detachment. Because detachment isn't emotional withdrawal, it's emotional evolution. It's not about ignoring her. It's about elevating beyond the need for her. When you're truly detached, you don't sit around wondering what she's doing. You don't stalk her page. You don't rehearse conversations in your head, hoping for a second chance. That part of you, the part that needed her validation to feel complete, isn't in control anymore. You still remember her. You may still care, but care doesn't mean chase, and love doesn't mean lose yourself. She let go thinking your feelings would keep you tied, but detachment cut the cord. And not with bitterness, not with hatred, with clarity. Because once a man sees his own value, he doesn't fight for people who walked away from it. He removes himself from the battlefield completely. And that's what shakes her. Not your anger, not your sadness, but the fact that you're unreachable. Now she's left to feel what you once carried, the uncertainty, the silence, the shift in power. She never expected you to stop caring. She just never believed you'd care more about yourself than about her. And that's exactly what changed everything. Number 5. She thought you'd be waiting until she realized you were healing. In her mind, you were supposed to sit in the ruins, wait it out, stay emotionally stuck while she explored her options. She expected you to stay paused in the pain, because that's what she's used to. Being able to leave without consequence, knowing the door would still be open. But this time, she misread the silence. Because while she was assuming you were frozen, you were healing. Quietly, relentlessly. You were putting yourself back together in pieces she never bothered to understand. You weren't waiting. You were working. On your body, on your goals, on your mindset. You weren't chasing closure. You were becoming the closure. And the version of you that's being built now? He doesn't check her page. He doesn't relive the last conversation. He doesn't need her to see the progress. Because it's not for her, it's for you. Healing in silence is the loudest move you can make. Because she expected the broken version, the wounded one, the one that would wait until she was ready again. But what she's going to face, if she ever comes back, is a man who no longer fits into her world. Not because he changed to win her, but because he changed and left her behind. She let go thinking you'd stay where she left you. Now she's realizing you outgrew the pain she caused. And that hurts far more than anything you could have said. Number 6. When you go silent, her imagination gets loud. There's nothing more disarming than silence, real silence, not passive-aggressive waiting, not cold shoulder tactics, actual absence, no texts, no updates, no signs of life in her inbox. And that silence, it doesn't just echo, it invades. Because now her mind becomes the battleground. She starts asking questions. Is he over me? Has he met someone? Did I ever even matter? And the worst part for her? She doesn't have answers. Because when a man stops reacting, she loses all access to the emotional feedback loop she once relied on. No more reassurance, no more emotional safety net, just space, distance, unknowns, and the unknown is where her regret begins to grow. See, as long as she hears from you, even if it's anger, sadness, or confusion, she knows you still care. She knows she still has emotional leverage. But once you remove that, once you go completely silent and stay there, she's left with only her imagination to fill the gap, and imagination is ruthless. It paints worst-case scenarios. It amplifies your strength. It glorifies your absence. It turns you into a mystery she can't solve and a man she can't reach. You didn't have to say a word. She did all the talking in her own head, because silence doesn't just cut contact, it cuts control. And now her own mind is doing what she never expected, making her feel everything you were once begging her to understand. Number 7. The day she feels, it is never the day she leaves. She didn't feel it when she walked away. Not when she said, "I need space." Not when she went cold. Not even when you fell silent. Because at first she felt free, untethered, detached, unburdened. That's the part that hurts the most, realizing how easily she moved on while you were stuck in the wreckage. But the thing about detachment, it's often temporary. It works until the silence stretches, until her distractions run out, until the attention she chased elsewhere doesn't hit the same. And then it creeps in, quietly, unexpectedly, painfully. Regret. It's not immediate. It's delayed impact. Because real consequences don't show up when someone walks away. They show up when they realize there's no way back. The version of you who used to wait? He's not there. The version who used to reply in seconds? Gone. The man who overgave, over-explained, and overextended himself? Replaced. And suddenly, she's left standing in the silence she created. Only now she feels the weight of it. Not because you punished her, but because you removed yourself with precision. The day she left wasn't the day she broke. The day she broke was the moment she realized, you're never coming back. Number 8, your absence forced her to face herself. When you were there, you absorbed everything, her moods, her distance, her confusion. You made excuses. You tried to fix what she wouldn't even acknowledge. You kept showing up while she kept pulling back. And in doing so, you unknowingly shielded her from the one thing she truly needed to confront, herself. But when you went silent, all of that protection disappeared. Now there's no distraction, no one left to argue with or project onto, no emotional cushion, just her, sitting in the echo of her own decisions. And that echo, it's louder than any words you could have spoken, because now the space you left behind doesn't feel peaceful, it feels hollow. She's not just missing you, she's being forced to look inward. And that's where the real discomfort lives. All the things you used to carry for her, she now has to hold on her own. All the guilt she buried under blame. All the love she didn't know how to return. All the truth she refused to face while you were still trying to make it work. Your absence didn't destroy her. It revealed her. Because when a man finally pulls away without drama or games, he becomes the mirror she can't avoid. Not the villain, not the victim, just the reminder of what she lost and what she was unwilling to fix. And now? She's not haunted by what you said. She's haunted by what you didn't need to say at all. Number 9, she realizes too late that access was a privilege. She took your consistency for granted, your patience, your loyalty. She mistook it for permanence. She assumed that no matter what she did or didn't do, you'd still be there, because you always were. Through the tension, through the disrespect, through the slow emotional erosion, you stayed. But that was then. Now, she's waking up to the reality that what she had wasn't guaranteed. It was a privilege, and she didn't lose it because you stopped loving her. She lost it because she stopped earning it. That version of you, the one who poured into her, who checked in, who tried over and over again, he was rare. And she didn't just walk away from love. She walked away from access to your energy, your attention, your protection, your presence. She thought she had time. She thought you'd always reach out again. She thought your silence was temporary. Until it wasn't. Until the door didn't reopen. Until she saw you rebuilding without her. Until she realized you weren't punishing her. You were evolving past her. That's when the panic sets in, because now she's not chasing you. She's chasing the version of herself that had access to you. But access denied? That's forever. Because once a man learns his value, he never negotiates it again. And that's when she finally understands. She didn't just lose a person. She lost privilege. Number 10. Your peace became the revenge you never had to plan. You never plotted revenge. You didn't make posts to make her jealous. You didn't reach out to check in just to show you were doing better. You didn't play games. You let go. And in doing so, you did the one thing that hits harder than any petty comeback ever could. You moved on in peace. Real peace. The kind that isn't loud. The kind that doesn't need to prove anything. It shows in the way you walk, the way you speak, the way you don't flinch when her name comes up. It shows in your progress, your presence, your refusal to engage in the noise. And that peace, that calm strength, that's what she feels now. Not your absence, your evolution. She thought you'd stay wounded. She thought you'd try to show her what she missed, but you never had to, because peace shows itself. It's not just that you're better off without her, it's that you no longer need her to know that. And that silence, rooted in growth, not bitterness, is the loudest closure of all. You didn't win by making her feel small. You won by becoming untouchable. And the man you've become now, he doesn't go back. He doesn't react. He just rises, quietly, fully, permanently. She let go like it was easy. She thought you'd wait. She thought you'd chase. She thought you'd need closure. But what she never expected was your complete silence. No contact wasn't a tactic. It was the end of her access. You didn't explain. You didn't plead. You didn't look back. And in doing so, you became something far more powerful than she ever imagined, untouchable. Because the moment you stopped needing her is the moment she started feeling everything you used to carry. If you're done asking for closure and ready to become it, hit that like button. Subscribe to Stoic Blessing, turn on notifications, and comment below. No contact is my closure. This isn't about hurting her. It's about healing you. Let her feel what you felt and never look back.